Hello, friends and children. Welcome to Home Tutor. I am Niba Nibin, your personal teacher. 8th Standard History, Chapter 1 deals with how, when, and where. In this chapter, we study about importance of dates, how do we periodize, concept of colonial, keeping records, importance of surveys, etc. In this session, we discuss about dates. Let's go to the chapter. How, when, and where. How important are dates? There was a time when historians were fascinated with dates. There were heated debates about the dates on which rulers were crowned or battles were fought. In the common sense notion, history was synonymous with dates. You may have heard people say, I find history boring because it is all about memorizing dates. Is such a conception true? Okay, historians had a strong attraction towards dates once. Here, fascinated means strong attraction towards something. For that, there was serious discussions about when was a king crowned or when he fought a battle or war. According to a common belief, history was same or similar with dates. Notion means belief. Most of the time, you have heard that how your friends or colleagues say about history. They say that history is such a boring subject and it is all about memorizing dates. Here in this chapter, it is asked that whether such an attitude or belief towards history is true. History is certainly about changes that occur over time. It is about finding out how things were in the past and how things have changed. As soon as we compare the past with the present, we refer to time. We talk of before and after. History is a changes that happens at times. It defines how time changed and things happened in the past and what are the changes that occurred during the course of time. Whenever we compare the past with the present, we refer it with time and we compare it and talk about before and after. Living in the world, we do not always ask historical questions about what we see around us. We take things for granted as if what we see has always been in the world we inhabit. But most of us have our moments of wonder when we are curious and we ask questions that actually are historical. Usually, we won't ask any questions that is related to history in our day-to-day life. We see things without any serious matters, and that is in the world we inhabit also. At times, we wonder and are in a stage to know something, thereby, we ask some questions which are part of history. Watching someone sip a cup of tea at a roadside tea stall, you may wonder when did people begin to drink tea or coffee? Okay, so when we see a person having a cup of tea or coffee from a tea stall or from a fast food shop, we're anxious to know from when did people started to drink tea or coffee. During the rule of viceroys, they brought tea from China and coffee from Brazil. Later, they planted tea in Assam, Munnar, etc., and coffee in Karnataka, Wayanad, and different other parts of India. Looking out of the window of a train, you may ask yourself when were railways built and how did people travel long distances before the age of railways? While we are traveling in a train, we may wonder about who have built railways, how they have built and how people have traveled long distances before the age of railways. Actually, railways was built and it is brought to India by the viceroys of British India. His name is Dalhousie. Reading the newspaper in the morning, you may be curious to know how people got to hear about things before newspapers began to be printed. Yes, while reading newspaper, much of us have discussed about the importance of the invention of print and were curious that how people got informations before the time of newspaper. Now at let's look at figure 1. In the front page of India's first map drawn by James Rennell in 1782, he had shown that the Brahmins are offering our Shastras to Britannia. What is frontispiece? It is the title page or front page of a book. James Rennell was asked by Robert Clive to produce maps of Hindustan, an enthusiastic supporter of British conquest of India. Rennell saw preparation of maps as essential to the process of domination. The picture here tries to suggest that Indians willingly gave over their ancient texts to Britannia, the symbol of British power, as if asking her to become the protector of Indian culture. Rennell is considered as the father of Indian geography and he was asked by Robert Clive to draw a map of India. Robert Clive is a statesman who laid the foundation of British rule in India. Rennell considered the that in order to dominate or exercise power, it is important to know about the features of India through a map. The figure shows that Indians are willingly submitting the ancient texts to Britannia, finally asking Britishers to become the protector of our Indian culture, our refined taste, manners, and good knowledges. All such historical questions refer us back to notions of time. But time does not have to be always precisely dated in terms of a particular year or a month. Sometimes it is actually incorrect to fix precise dates to processes that happen over a period of time. People in India did not begin drinking tea one fine day. They developed a taste for it over time. There can be no more clear dates for a process such as this. Similarly, we cannot fix one single date on which British rule was established or the national movement started or changes took place within the economy and society. All these things happened over a stretch of time. We can only refer to a span of time, an approximate period over which particular changes became visible. In previous paragraph, we have discussed about the anxiety to ask different historical questions. All these questions leads us to the time that we have covered that is the past. Most of the incidents are vaguely mentioned to happen in a course of time. We are not particular about their accurate date or year. We are not sure about a date when did Britishers started to rule India. We may say that they established power from 1600. Likewise, in the notion of time regarding national movement, then the changes took place in economy and society. For all these things, there is no precise date. All this happened in a period of time and not suddenly of a moment. Why then do we continue to associate history with a string of dates? This association has a reason. There was a time when history was an account of battles and big events. It was about rulers and their policies. Historians wrote about the year a king was crowned, the year he married, the year he had a child, the year he fought a particular war, the year he died, and the year the next ruler succeeded to the throne. For events such as these, specific dates can be determined, and in histories such as these, debates about dates continue to be important. There was a reason for why our historians associated dates. In previous centuries, historians concentrated only particular events that happened. That is, for example, the date a king became a ruler, his policies, when he have crowned, his marriage dates, the year when his child was born, the year he fought a war, then his death. After that, his successors who came to the throne, etc. All these had a particular date, and at that times, historians went back of dates. That's all. As we have seen in the history textbooks of the past 2 years, historians now write about a host of other issues and other questions. They look at how people earned their livelihood, what they produced and ate, how cities developed and markets came up, how kingdoms were formed and new ideas spread, and how cultures and society changed. Finally, the concept of writing changed. Now the historians are interested to know how people have earned what they cultivated, ate, how the cities and markets came up, when kingdoms formed and ideas spreaded, how our culture and society changed at times. And finally, when historians started to think like this, the concept of dates changed and show path to decades and eras. So we are concluding the session here. I hope you understood the importance of dates. The continuation of this chapter is on next video. Please watch, like, share, subscribe, and click the bell button on for future updates. Thank you.